Hi everybody, welcome to Keeping It Real. I'm Jay. I just wanted to come in today and talk to you about rights. If you're a Metis person, rights are a big deal. They're constantly a topic coming up. I see them all the time on Facebook and Twitter and other social media. Metis rights. How do we get to exercise our rights? How do we get to participate in the traditional things our ancestors did in regards to hunting, fishing, and different things like that, and access to land, of course. So, recently we've seen that in Conklin, Alberta. If you're not familiar, they had a harvesting camp up there for youth, and the Fish and Wildlife came up there and confiscated all the fish they caught because they presumed that they had caught it with a net, even though no net was found. Now, I wasn't there, and I don't know all the ins and outs, but that's what I do know. And so rights are a big deal for Métis people, and it's a big challenge. We have provincial and federal governments that have deemed all lands that the government possesses as crown lands, and therefore Indigenous people no longer have access or rights to those lands without government permission. So we can't hunt, we can't fish, we can't trap, we can't live on any land other than the land the government deems that we have access to. In Alberta, we have the only land-based Métis people under a special provincial act of legislation, which is unique to Alberta and creates the Métis settlements, but even the people who live on those settlements only get to participate in a traditional lifestyle within the parameters of those communities, same as Paoli historic communities in Alberta, at least. They're only defined by being able to hunt and fish within 160 kilometers of those communities. So if you're not from a historical community and you're not on a settlement, you're pretty much left out in the cold when it comes to doing the things our ancestors did with free access to Mother Nature. And so this is something that is an ongoing discussion, and I think it's going to be an uphill battle and a long-term dialogue that's going to have to happen between Métis people and the various forms of levels of government that assert their control over traditional territory. Part of the problem I have is there's several soft spots in the colonial structure that we Métis people could exploit if we would but unify our position. One is access to land. If Métis people really wanted land, and we were serious about getting land back in the present context for ourselves, for our children and our grandchildren, it wouldn't take very much. Last time I checked, the government sells all kind of land at fair market value, and that's their system. There are enough Métis people in Alberta alone. There's 90,000 Métis people. If 90,000 Métis people decided that they were going to put the equivalent of a few latte coffees a month towards the acquisition of land, we would have land. I personally know that we at our organization, the Métis Society, have started a fund page for the very purpose. To rally Métis support here in my home community. There's quite a bit of access to crown lands and the acquisition of crown lands by Métis people, which is completely legal. We don't need government approval. It's how the system works. Land is for sale and you buy it. Now, while the land is ours intrinsically because we're Indigenous peoples, they're not going to give it to us anytime soon, and if they are going to give it to us, it's going to come with huge restrictions, huge court costs, huge legal battles, and it's going to take time. Now, all of these things need to take their due course, absolutely. But let's be honest, we're not going to see that land in my lifetime, and probably not in my kids' lifetime. So if Métis people are really serious about saying we want land, and we want it now, I would challenge all of you. Spread this video around, and let's see if we can get enough Métis people interested in creating a real Métis homeland that you're willing to cough up a few dollars of your coffee latte money to put towards the acquisition of land for Métis people. Second of all that I hear a lot about is harvesting rights. We don't have traditional harvesting rights, that's a fact. But last time I checked, every person who resides within the province of Alberta, or whatever home province you are in, has access to a sport fishing license. I do, you do, and there is nothing illegal about us going harvesting together. So if you'd like to go harvesting and you'd like to put some food in the freezer for your kids and your family and your community even, then let me know. I go harvesting every fall. And I would love to have the opportunity to go harvesting with you. You only need to have access to something to hunt with and a sport hunting license. So you can pick those up at any Canadian Tire or gas station just about, and for a few dollars we can go out and harvest together. It's as simple as that. We have lots of opportunities to continue our traditional ways and our traditional customs within the confines and constructs of the current system. Now, it's not perfect. It doesn't recognize our Indigenous right to do these things free of government interference, but it is a start. And I think if we're going to preserve our way of life and our values, we need to be able to do it in spite of the system until such a time comes where we achieve the full recognition of our rights. So I challenge you. You want to go harvesting and you're anywhere near me, let me know. We can make that happen. You want lands and you want to see lands set aside for Métis people. Well, let's see people put their money where their mouth is. Because if we're waiting for someone to do it for us for free, and we're waiting for the governments to relinquish control of the land out of the goodness of their hearts, it's not going to happen. We're going to have to spend a lot of time in court and a lot of money. And I probably won't be here to see it. So if we're serious about change in the present and we want to see that change now, then I think the time is now. I think there are enough Métis people in the Alberta alone, never mind across Canada, that province by province, community by community, we could see ownership of significant portions of land be passed into Métis hands and Métis control if we would but put our money where our mouth is. If rights are so important, if our values and customs, traditions and heritage on the land is so vitally important to the Métis experience, let's see it. So I will post the website on this video. You can go to the link, you'll see the donate button, and if you think that Métis rights and Métis lands are that important, I hope you'll support us in our move to begin the acquisition of lands for creating real space for Métis people, for ceremony, for hunting, to do those kinds of things. And we're going to do it starting right here in my hometown because we have access. And so here's our pilot project, here's our chance, and community by community, jurisdiction by county, I hope we are able to set aside these spaces for Métis people right across Canada and beyond, maybe, to inspire other communities to do the same thing. If we rally behind this and we put a few dollars a month aside, it doesn't take long with the amount of numbers we have. It's pretty simple math, 10, 15, 20 bucks a month. It doesn't take long with 600,000 Métis people in Canada, 90,000 Métis people in Alberta, to actually create real territories, real space in the control of Métis people. So that's it. That's what I got for you today. I challenge you to share the video and let's see if we can start a conversation and a dialogue about land for Métis people in the here and the now. So hit the like button. If you like the channel, subscribe, share the video all around, and I look forward to hearing your comments in the comment section. And until next time, keep it real.